Welcome back, East Texas. Joining us in the studio now is Vicki LeMay, the Outreach Coordinator for UT Health East Texas EMS. So welcome and thank you so much for being here today.
It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So we've been talking about Stop the Bleed. So tell me a little bit about what that is.
Well, back in 2013, after the Hartford, Connecticut shootings at the school, a consortium was formed to put a class together because a lot of people that die in those mass casualty incidents, they bleed out. But if people that are there know what to do, how to control that bleeding, a lot of lives can be saved.
So is that how the course kind of began?
Yeah, that's kind of how it began with the general public. This course actually came out in 2015, 2016, and we have started to really try to teach a lot of these, make sure everybody's prepared for those kind of emergencies.
So why should everyone know how to do this? I mean, not just nurses, doctors, just normal civilians.
Well, like I said, a lot of people can bleed out in a matter of less than a minute. Depending on how bad the wound is, and if nobody is there that knows what to do, like I said, they die. But if somebody's there that knows what to do, it allows us to get that patient to the hospital to get to the physicians that can fix the issue.
So what do you got here? I have to ask.
This is one of our trainers.
Okay.
This trainer we got from the Regional Advisory Committee here that serves the East Texas area. And so it's a knife wound and a gunshot wound. And so we have combat gauze to teach people how to stuff a wound. So pretty much we tell them you take this and then you just put it inside the wound and keep putting it in there until it's filled to control bleeding that's on the inside. And then we have a CAT tourniquet, so we teach people how to use a tourniquet on a limb to control life-threatening bleeding.
So are these things that should be, in a school's first aid kit or something like that?
So the bandaging, absolutely. You need to have some kind of bandage to control bleeding. Tourniquets are a really good idea to have. They're a little bit expensive, but they're worth the investment to save a life. I actually have some that I personally bought just to have in my car and at the house, because it's not just mass shootings. You could be cooking and slice yourself, opening a box, working in the yard. Any kind of injury that can cause a lot of bleeding, we need to immediately try to get that under control.
For sure. You can never be too prepared, right? Mm-hmm. So what else do you learn in these Stop the Bleed courses?
So you learn how to stay safe. Make sure that the scene is safe, call 911, and identify life-threatening bleeding. Because we're not going to put a tourniquet on just a scratch. So we have a presentation. The class takes about at least 30 minutes, but we can take up to an hour and a half to make sure that everybody gets hands-on practice. So it's a presentation and this hands-on practice. So everybody that is there will get to practice how to control bleeding by putting bandaging into a wound, and everybody gets their hands on a tourniquet so they can use it on themselves or on somebody else.
Great information. Everybody should know. So if people at home are interested in attending one of these courses, how can they find one or set one up?
So we actually set these courses up as requested. They can contact us via email or call me on the telephone and say, hey, I would like to set up a Stop the Bleed class, and we'll just come out and set it up. There's no cost for these classes. Like I said, the kits were donated by the RAC. We donate our instructors to teach it. We just want as many people as possible know what to do so that when we get on scene, the patient's alive, and we can take that patient to the hospital to get the issue ultimately resolved.
Absolutely. And where can people find more information?
So they can go to our website, the UT Health East Texas website. They can also go to the bleedingcontrol.org website. That is where the kits came from. They have, if there's a public class, it is listed there. But like I said, they can send me an email to request a class, vglemay@uthet.com, or contact the hospital.
All right, Vicki, thank you so much for being here today.